So, Disgaea 6, yo, we got a lot of problems here. This is a pretty big disappointment. Personally, I think Disgaea 2 is the one I like the least, but this is right there next to it. Let's first talk about the graphics on the Nintendo Switch. There's like, you could get to choose between basically like freaking slideshow shit performance or like standard definition like super shit, really bad, terrible graph. I mean, I can't even. I'm just losing my mind thinking about it. It looked really bad. There's basically a pretty good fix for it. You just go into your dock mode on Switch and you set the resolution to 720p. That actually fixes it, and it looks okay up close, like right here. The actual cutscene fights, they look really good. But if you don't set your dock mode resolution to like 720p, it looks really bad, or it runs really bad. It's like choose your poison. But you know, put it in 720p with the graphics mode on, and it looks okay. It runs about 30-ish frames. But performance was a pretty big problem overall. And I've heard the PlayStation version, which is Japan only, is the same way, or it's not too good on its own right. This is largely, a lot of it is Switch, but you know, it's really just Nippon Ichi just fucking sucking ass. Let's be frank about that shit. There was a big suck fest. Now we're in 3D now. I actually like the 3D characters a pretty good bit. Some people might not like them, but I think they're pretty good. But they're missing a bunch of characters, so like compared to 5, there's just tons and tons of generic class characters missing. So you're missing like Lady Warrior, Lady Monk. You're missing Lady Cleric, Lady Shinobi. And then there'll be some characters where there's only the female versions on them, and then there's no male versions. I don't remember exactly how many were listed, but there's like male witch is missing. There's tons and tons of missing characters in here. What they did is they tried to make your generics a little bit less generic, essentially. And so instead of having like a weapon skills where your unique characters like Laharl could learn the weapon skills, and then if he had swords, he'd use sword skills or something like that. They got rid of that shit all the way around, and instead they put the weapon skills on these generic classes. So the warrior actually has like the axe special moves, although even if he uses a sword, it's weird shit, but that's exactly what they've done. It helps flesh them out as unique characters that you might want to run. But we got the real problem is this game is essentially Auto Battler 6, and I think a huge chunk of my review is going to be talking about where the true ball has been dropped is in this auto battle shit. Now, the thing about, I'm hearing a lot of people says, well, you don't have to use the auto battle, but what they've done is they've designed the whole game around auto battle. And the example would be like it can be really basic, but just like on your base panel, you can pull out 10 people at once, right? And typical old Disgaea is, you would pull them out, only who you need really to do the kills. While here, if all 10 people get the experience, so it had been a problem back in the day. If you would have picked like if you'd been like Disgaea 1 and you was a cleric or whatever, she wouldn't get experience unless she could kill, and so your cleric's progress would be based on how good they could kill, and like so they needed magic or some shit besides healing, or they needed a freaking good weapon, and they were usually crap, and so you ended up having to work around it. You would usually make a witch first, and then you would change her class over to a cleric so that she could use witch spells to get around and still be a cleric as well, and with Kieran. But here it's like the streamlined whole thing. Everybody gets XP when brought out the base panel, and so bringing those characters out one at a time manually is a bunch of damn work. But if you just press the start button, all the auto characters all fucking come out at the same time, and they just go around and they just start doing crazy shit. And it's once you've run that compared to what you've done manually a couple times, you're like, wow, this is a shit ton more efficient. Just let the computer just bring out all the guys and just fucking all go at one time, and then you can have it auto redo the levels. So they could just do one level over and over again. They could just pop that shit every about 15 seconds. They just restart the level, kill it, press A button for all the treasures, and then you just keep going. And then you have things like auto sell treasure, that just so that you can essentially do it indefinitely. And they'll even do item world. What I found is they generally might run out of magic if the level is too tough. They'll use up all their magic, or you have it where you can, you're in your skills and stuff, you can drastically increase how strong or how weak they are, but the magic cost comes high, so you might want to drop the magic down so they can last through the levels. Also, you could program them, and I never actually programmed them, but it looked pretty extensive for what I could tell. So you could program them to, program your thief to go after treasure boxes or whatever it is. And by the time you program these guys to do what you want, it's vastly more efficient for them to play the game for you than, unless there's some kind of secret bullshit you've got going on. It's just really efficient to just let them do it. And so the way I like to think of it is, a real life example would be Roombas. Roombas are vacuum cleaners, little robot vacuum cleaners. They're not as good at vacuuming as you as a person would be. You would know to move furniture and get this and that, while Roomba would just kind of bounce back and forth. It's going to miss tons of shit. You might have a smart Roomba that tries to map it out, and you kind of program its AI, whatever it is. But no, they're real stupid, and they'll get tangled up on any kind of cords, or if you got clothes, or cat toys. Well, we got tons of those around here, and like your Roomba gets all tangled up in that shit. Or if you just have a chair pulled out, it'll get tangled up into the chair. And so what you end up doing is you move your whole house to accommodate the Roomba, and that's what's going on here with the auto battler and Disgaea 6. The entire game has been shifted and changed around it. The item world itself, which is such a core part. My favorite part of Disgaea games is, as soon as item world gets unlocked, we jump in item world, we get a bunch of items. Well, the items aren't very useful. They suck because your characters level up super fast to accommodate the auto battler system and the new numbers. We gotta go past 10,000 levels, man. I gotta freak out. And then the actual item world itself, the random generated levels, they're kind of flat and big, so they accommodate the AI just kind of doing whatever it is. So there won't be much intricacy. There's not a lot of height difference, unless they use like the story levels and as a part of the tile set, which they'll do sometimes. But it just seems like program your characters, make sure they have star or a spell, and your wizards, of course, so they have long range, and just have them cast the shit out of your big star spell, and just, they don't matter who the fuck they are really. So they ends up, all the characters are probably like the same, and then so and now you can program your AI to pick certain skills, but I found that the AI itself will tend to go for whatever kind of range bullshit it can do to hit as many people as you can. And so you just really go all in on that one, and it'll just boost that fucking. You just leave your damn game on overnight. Just leave the game on overnight. You come back, you got level 99 skill, whatever it is, and your characters have gained begillions of levels. And it just leads to this thing where the game plays itself, and I'm sitting there, like I've got the normally I've got the story scrolling automatically, and then I've got the fight scrolling automatically. It's like, what am I here? What am I really here to do besides press A button every once in a while to verify some shit, or you set up the general plan of what's going to happen. You're the meta. You're freaking looking at it at a micro level, but your army is off doing its own thing. It's almost like if you was in StarCraft and you just select a bunch of Zergs, and then you use the big map, the little mini map that just point at the other person's base and just press A button, and it's like the Zergs are going to go down there. They're going to do shit. Who knows? It's highly inefficient. It'd be much better for you to control each one, yourself, but you don't have to do any work at the same end. And so I found that I'm getting the most power and stuff and boost when I'm not even there. It's just or I can just come in and check, do some chores, come in and check and see how they're doing. And I don't know, man. When you build and shift the game around this, and you transition to 3D characters or whatever, and you take out a bunch of shit. There's nowhere near as much content as Disgaea 5 is in this. I mean, this is a big problem, and I don't know if Nippon Ichi can honestly make these kind of mistakes. Cause I know they made some mistakes with some mobile port or some shit, and they had a bunch of financial trouble. But it's been a long time since Disgaea 5, and Disgaea 5 shits on Disgaea 6. That's just straight up. So, do I recommend this game? Oh fuck no. Hell, I auto battled Bale and beat his ass. Well, no, I did use one Super Galaxy Mage Super Bomb thing, and then I auto battled, and then pretty much he fucking died. So, and there's a ton of Carnage level, and then after a Carnage level, they've added more shit. But it's really just the computer playing the game for you. Hopefully, that's the best way to use. Way you should do it. Or even if you're adamant about manual control. There's so many hours of the day where you're not playing and the computer could be playing for you, man. So what's really more efficient, huh? It's efficient is to have that computer do that shit for you, man. That's just straight up what it is. So I'm not going to recommend this. Even a terrible Disgaea game is a pretty good game, but the standards are set. 3, 4, and 5 and D2 are all pretty good, and they kind of each one did better each other. The story in this game was a little bit better than 5, but then it ended up kind of being shit at the end. It just kind of fell apart once you've introduced your one note token. Oh well, here's the money guy, and here's the love girl, and here's the justice girl. Once you've got that shit all introduced, and you're introduced your harem of heroes or whatever it is, it just kind of falls apart. So Big Kitty loves this guy. We've been a fan since day one. But we didn't get our horny on. We didn't feel very good playing this shit. Once we turned on auto battle and was like, wow, this is the way to go. We just kind of fell apart. Brian does like the new models, but the graphics, bro, the graphics are really bad on the Switch, and I have a feeling that it's going to probably be a couple years till there's a PC port that comes out, or maybe there's going to be an exclusive deal that ends with Nintendo, and then there's a a PS4/5, and then you can play on PS5 if you can find one of them damn things, and then they won't have any of these problems. Maybe might be a crashy piece of shit knowing Nippon Ichi, but this is a pretty big disappointment. No, just stay away from this game. But that's how it goes, kitty. Win some, lose some, and this time we lost pretty bad.